That's awesome. I myself am a member right now of the Board of Regents. My name's Patrick Boylan. So welcome to this event. We have a few things that I will explain to you about how it's going to be run. But first, let me mention our silent auction and our sponsors. Let me thank them. The first is the Foreign Exchange, where we are sitting right now. Number 2 is Stephanie Phillips, U.S. Senate candidate. Number 3 is Carl Carterata, Clark County School Trustee District A. Number 4 is Ron Quince, U.S. Congressional District 1. Gosh, I'm already going to the UN. No, it's the U.S. Congressional District. Yeah, and then number 4 is my favorite, Barbie's Goodies Donuts. Go and check out Barbie's Goodies, right, Steve? Steve Sanson? Steve Sanson. They have to go and check out Barbie's Goodies, right? They're the ones we got the donuts from. They really taste good. Okay. I'm trying to make it easy for you guys, make it light so we can have some fun here. All right, the interview process, a few things here. The panel members will introduce themselves by giving their name, position, and the organization they represent. Then each candidate, you guys, will be given 1 minute to introduce yourselves and asked to explain why you are running and seeking our endorsement. Number 3, candidates, please remember this is an interview, not a debate. So when asked a question from a panel member, you will direct your answer to the panel members only. Don't start debating each other. That's no fun. Number 4, when you receive a question from a panel member, you will be given 1 minute to answer their question. And he was explaining to you, I think he showed you the cards, the yellow and the red card. Once you receive the yellow card, you will be given 15 seconds to wrap up. He'll put it up, and then you have 15 seconds. Once you're given the red card, you're out of here. No, it's like soccer, yellow card, red card. Okay, so it's going to be fun. Now, if I pass it on to, I did that one, all the panel to introduce themselves. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay,
right.
good. Kylie Tuckett, member of Veterans in Politics.
Good afternoon. Joaquin Perry Edwards, Armed Forces Chamber Pact.
Thanks for being here. Matthew DeFalco, Nevada Democratic Veterans and Military Families Caucus.
Welcome. Thank you. Andre Haynes, Armed Forces Chamber PAC.
Good afternoon. Barbara Lucien with Veterans in Politics.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. Steve Horner with the Nevada Democratic Veterans and Military Families Caucus.
Good afternoon. I'm Barbara Dreyer, and with Nevada Democratic Veterans and Military Family Caucus.
And Mikey Kelly, Nevada Democratic Veterans and Military Families Caucus. Thank you for coming. And well, we're going to have the candidates introduce themselves. You're going to have 1 minute to talk about yourselves. And tell us why you're running and why we should endorse you. So we'll start with Mr. Bowen.
Yeah. Bowen.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Can you hear me? Yes, my name is Matthew Bowen. I have been in Las Vegas since 2016 by way of the military. I'm originally from Augusta, Arkansas. Wanted to change my life, joined the military. Military brought me out here to Las Vegas. I got out of the military in 2021. Since then, I was in trades. I did HVAC in the military. I worked with a business out here that was impacted heavily by COVID, and then I ended up starting my business. So I've been an entrepreneur in the Valley for the past 3 years. Great small business community. I appreciate everyone being so welcoming, me making this my home. I was raised by my grandfather who taught school in a low-income area for 42 years. That's I saw the struggles, not having the funds, not having the support, not having everything, and I always wanted to make a difference for my community. Unfortunately, I can't do that back home. Here, I see a lot of opportunity to where I see all the money, I see the casinos, I see everything. There should be a great school district here.
Thank you. Just one thing, Mr. Kelly. Could you tell us which district you're running for and the boundaries of your district?
District 1, North Las Vegas.
Thank you for having me. My name is Ida Zeiler. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with all of you. I am a 19-year teacher, and I taught on the border in El Paso, Texas for many years. And since COVID, I've been homeschooling my own 4 children here in Nevada. I also work as a history fact checker and proofreader for a curriculum company. And I am a planning commissioner for the city of North Las Vegas. And I constantly ask them when we have planning meetings, what about education? What about education? If we don't have a solid educational base, we aren't going to be able to attract companies that will bring their employees and families here. And I volunteer a lot with military interests. My own family is military. I have an active duty little brother. My dad and both my grandfathers served in the Army. And I serve with, as a state chair for Daughters of the American Revolution's DA, our service for veterans, and we do a lot with Wreaths Across America, the Fisher House, and many other organizations because I know that it's truly a family event with military.
Which seat are you running for?
I'm also running for District 1, which includes North Las Vegas, a portion of Las Vegas, and the county area that's around the county offices and the Smith Center.
Thank you. Yes, good.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Carlos Fernandez. I am the executive director of the American Institute of Architects, so I represent the interests of architects for both in Las Vegas and Nevada. I've been in Las Vegas for 22 years now. Went through school K through 12 in Clark County. Graduated from UNLV and pursued my master's degree as well at UNLV. I'm currently involved in the Alumni Association Board, and I'm very focused on service. The reason why I'm running and looking for the endorsement of this group is as student body president at UNLV, my focus was on ensuring that our veteran students had opportunities and access to their education and to the resources that are available to them. And we have a really great program at UNLV, and I was really proud to be able to continue that. So now being able to run for a higher office and through the region, I want to be able to ensure that this is something that we can spread throughout the whole system and ensuring that we are able to pay respects to our veterans and their families who decide to make their home in Nevada.
What district again? Sorry.
I apologize. I'm running for University Regent District 1. It does encompass the Arts District and North Las Vegas.
Thank you.
I think since I have to keep this, I'll start with the first question. If we'll start here and we'll continue going down that way. You, in regards to veterans, have had issues transitioning when they attend college. UNLV has a fantastic veterans center that is the gold standard. CSN, not so much. What are you going to do to finally fix that issue? Because I will tell you, veterans I've talked to who attend CSN don't feel that they have the support that they need. And while the person at UNLV, Ross Bryant, has done a phenomenal job, he can't serve both colleges. So what will you do to ensure the veterans who are, and military families who are attending CSN are treated effectively, and will you support a robust veteran center at CSN, both the North Las Vegas campus as well as the main campus? And we will start with Mr. Fernandez.
Thank you so much. So the vision here is to even go beyond Las Vegas, right? The Board of Regents oversees the whole Nevada system of higher education. So there is a gold standard, and I was proud to be student body president, help support the Rebel Vets program while I was there. And we even went up to Carson City to ensure that there was additional funding given to these different programs. So to say that UNLV is a gold standard is great, but there is a lack at CSN. The Board of Regents has the opportunity of determining where their budget goes and being able to put money in resources into being able to help our veterans. And it goes beyond the veterans. It goes active duty. It goes into their family as well. One of the things I prided myself with, again, as student body president, is that we advocated in Carson City and through the Board of Regents to ensure that those who get military training can use those credits and allow them to transfer to an NC institution, allowing there to be a lot more opportunities for those that already have the skills and what they need to know to be able to graduate a lot quicker. So that's something that should transition beyond CSN and UNLV. It should be all over.
North Las Vegas has really gone above and beyond in creating a veteran assistance program, and I'm struggling for the word, but I would like to take that and replicate it at the campuses. And as a member of NSHE, the policy making sector is where we can make those changes and allot those dollars. And I would like to see it go beyond. And one of the things that is on my platform is that as military individuals are coming back to school, it has been a very long time since they've taken a standardized test. And I would like to see things like the GRE and the GMAT be waived, and that military service be taken into consideration in lieu of their score of one of those tests. There is a standard for that across the country. Over 100 campuses have that. And the Nevada University system, especially with the robust veteran community that we have here, having 2 Air Force bases here, I'd like to see them implement that as well.
Yes. To this topic, one of the things I bring to the table is the fact that I transitioned out of the military myself out here in Las Vegas. For those who've worked with veterans, it's about the delivery of the information, marketing of the information, and putting it in the right places. I would like to see a partnership with the Transition Assistance Program out here at the Air Force Base, something more of a handoff instead of a drop-off, and then they get picked up somewhere else. With that, I think there's a lot of opportunities to incorporate other veterans in the community that we can use as sort of influencers for this movement to influence more of a seamless handoff to veterans, to these education centers. And me being a veteran, I will always advocate for more support for veterans.
Barbara Dreyer here. 2-part question. The first part, I did teach in a behavior school that was here in Clark County that was subsequently closed by CCSD. I'm wondering, what are your ideas for improving effective discipline in our schools, and as students transition into higher education, what can you do to help with discipline with our students? And my second part is sort of a trick question. It just, if you're familiar with what is the significance of April in regards to the military family?
Yes. I think behavioral health is becoming more of a hot topic, especially with a lot of the industry changes made in California. I would like to see us get ahead of it. And education-wise, we need to be focused on getting some of these kids being emotionally intelligent, as well as how to process their emotions. The same things that are learned through the basic tools of therapy, if you've ever been to therapy. If we embed these into these kids at a younger age, we can advert some of these acting out and some of these other emotions that they run into as they get older. And outside of, I believe April is it Autism Awareness Month? I don't know what it is as far as military, though. I apologize.
Thank you for the question. April is Military Children's Month. My own niece and nephew, I already sent them a little gift because that day is coming up in 2 weeks. I would like to see NSHE, because they are a policy-making board, stay in their lane. And I think that's been one of their problems with the revolving door of the chancellor. And so in regards to the behavior of students, I think NSHE has a responsibility to speak with experts that know how to assist with mental health and with the safety on campus, and utilize their expertise instead of trying to pretend like I have the answers to it all. And so I would like to see better communication and then implementation that is robust in assisting those students, because a successful student experience is ultimately what the university system is all about.
Thank you for the question. Again, Carlos Fernandez here. So in terms of behavior, there is an understanding then similar to a handoff that was talked about earlier. There is a sort of handoff between K through 12 and higher education. Similar to what Ida just mentioned here, the Board of Regents is policy making, but the Board of Regents is also in charge of ensuring that students that are going to campus do feel safe while they're there, right? And behavioral issues are those that would be addressed directly through the university, so allowing the universities to be able to handle exactly what they need to do in order to ensure that their classroom environment is one that can allow for lively debate, but without behavioral issues coming into play. But to Ida's point as well here, what we need to ensure that we do is use the expertise of those that are already in academia and be able to apply that, right? As a policy-making board, we need to be able to bring in the voices of everybody within academia, within the communities that are impacted within higher ed, in order for us to be able to make the best decisions. And I think that the Board of Regents are really lucky in that aspect.
As we all know, student debt has become crippling, and especially to those students that are in middle class and lower class economically students. What policies can be passed by the Board of Regents to help students make higher education more affordable and more accessible?
All right, perfect. So you're absolutely correct. I think on a national scale, higher education is ensuring that people do not have the access to be able to have a life, right? Be able to buy a home and do all these different things that are vital for the livelihood of anybody in general. So the Board of Regents does have the opportunity, the ability to be able to vote on student fees, to be able to increase tuition, et cetera. In order for us to be able to address that issue, first of all, we have to acknowledge that the Nevada System of Higher Education actually has a really quite affordable program. There's a lot of different aspects and avenues of scholarships, such as the Millennium Scholarship for those that go. And in terms of military, there are also a lot of opportunities for those that have served in the military to not only get in-state tuition after serving, but also their family that is here as well. So these are mitigation factors to ensure that the debt that somebody incurs while going to higher education isn't raised, but also acknowledging that higher education isn't a traditional four-year degree anymore, right? It is about getting those skill sets. So the Nevada System of Higher Education has the opportunity of offering different programs that can help with that, and employers will pay for it.
I appreciate this question. I have a daughter that's going to be a senior next year, so we're looking at the checkbook. I think that it is important that as we look at the robust budget that we have, that we're very smart with the way that it's utilized, and that we are cognizant of the fact that going back to the student to fill holes is not an option. So I would like to see a fiscal responsibility that includes being mindful of the fact that we do have great programs like the Millennial Scholar, but it's not going to be helpful if the fees outpace the amount that the Millennial Scholarship provides. So we need to be invested in our Nevadans so that they will turn and invest in us. And so creating fiscally conservative and responsible decisions, and that may be scaling back certain programs in order to make sure that the pocketbook of the student isn't where holes are being filled.
Yes, I know the national debt, this is an issue nationally. One of the things that always interests me is the amount of grant money that goes unclaimed each year. I would like to see an opportunity where we're educating people before college on grant writing. You know, let's tap into some of this money that's already been put aside for people to go to school before we start just writing checks for everything else. And then as we educate them to get these grants, then we can have the leftover money we can do to allocate. And I'd like to create partnerships in the community with some of these businesses that are large out here, make a lot of profit out here, and benefit directly from a highly educated individual coming to their business, be it through internship opportunities, repayment opportunities, or something like that. Developing partnerships with people in the community that wouldn't mind putting their name on a grant or their name on a scholarship to empower these kids.
Hi, Barbara Lucian with Veterans in Politics. I'd like to know what your plans are to help with the safety of these schools with the shootings and all this outside things. Do you have anything in mind that could work or that they could come up with? I think Carlos, we'll start with you.
Sure. Thank you so much for the question, Barbara. I actually have to commend the president of UNLV for the work that he has done in ensuring that both the students and the staff are feeling more comfortable and safe in their environment. They're actually able to request money from the legislature to continue to have security patrol the area in order to ensure that this continues to be a learning environment. And it really has to do when an NSHE has to be able to request from the legislature to increase the sort of safety measures that exist. Where the shooting happened, there wasn't cameras, right? There was a lot of the situation was really well handled, and I commend the police department for what they've done. But ensuring that we are requesting from the legislature more money for these different security efforts is going to be the solution. And it does come to the Board of Regents. They have the power to influence to be able to do that. And it also comes from listening to the university presidents and the students themselves and understanding that, look, times have changed, but we want to make sure that this is something that is not only unavoidable, but it can also be able to be even faster response when a situation like this occurs outside of UNLV in any other campus.
This is definitely a heartfelt question because it is so very personal to every single student and faculty member on campus. So thank you. Personally, my father was the first chair attorney who prosecuted the active shooter out of the Walmart in El Paso, Texas. And so I've actually sat down with his security team and talked about what kind of options are really out there. And I think it's important that we keep our campuses open. They are an asset to the community, and they create a sense of community to the students. But we need to shore up places like our faculty's offices and places where we can provide some more choke points and really secure access in certain ways while still maintaining an open campus. And again, I think that's where we need to bring in experts that can help us build policy that will actually be effective and implementable.
Yes, it was tragic what happened at UNLV. I remember I was going to elementary school in Little Rock, Arkansas, and it was elementary school. We had see-through backpacks, uniforms, and metal detectors, and that was at elementary school. What happened was a teacher got stabbed there. At one point, they went full on and went like that. I don't ever want to see school be militarized to the point where teachers are carrying guns. I believe security is important, but I believe that there is a middle ground of modern technology that we can put on campuses that are making places safe, doors easy access, harder to access by just anybody, and more cameras, more awareness. And then also we need to run exercises. I think any large campus needs to do an exercise to show if this happens, this is how we respond. We need to know that this is how we respond if this happens, if this alarm sounds or whatever. We run those exercises. We did that on base. It deters people from acting like that, and it informs people.
Andre Haynes from the Armed Forces Chamber. My question is for all of you, and it is, would you support legislation that requires regents and the chair to have a degree? Why or why not?
To me, it depends on what you want the face of Las Vegas to look like long term. I believe as we develop Las Vegas, there's going to be a lot of emerging trade programs, a lot of emerging, 2-year programs, 3-year programs, and that's just how society is going to shift. We're starting to see where a cybersecurity program might be 2 years of education. So when you look at a degree, it depends on what does that entail. Me, I don't have a bachelor's degree. I do have I went to trade school, I also went to the military. I've held multiple leadership positions, and now I run my own business. What I bring to the table is not the same as a typical educator, but we don't want to cut anyone out from contributing.
I think there has to be a balance. It's helpful to have people who have been in the classroom present and know if policy that isn't implementable isn't helpful. And so having some members of the board be having an educational background is helpful, but I think requiring that all of them have it limits the perspectives that can be brought, because there's definitely things I have learned as a planning commissioner working with developers that have gone on and helped me on the educational side of things. And so I think bringing numerous perspectives and being open to the value that all people applying to be on the board is important.
I'll take this a little bit of a different direction just with my interaction with the Board of Regents. So my answer would be yes. I do believe that the Board of Regents should have education in order to be able to serve in this role. Oftentimes when I was student body president, would approach the Board of Regents, a lot of the pushback that was given to me was from some regents who never stepped foot in a college campus and were making decisions on behalf of the over 100,000 students in the Nevada system of higher education. And that was very difficult. So I do believe, and that was something that has stayed with me from that time, is that being able to understand what academia looks like, what it's like to be able to go to school and go through the whole system is really important, and it's vital to be able to make the best decision for students.
Again, Matthew DeFalco, thank you very much for being here. In Clark County, we have public school teachers that are living in poverty. Teachers just got a historic 18% pay increase, and now the entry-level salary will be $54,000 per year. At NCHE, professional employees at the state's colleges, universities, and research institutions are making $250,000 a year, $300,000 a year, $350,000 a year. Even NCHE employers are making more than $400,000 per year. In December, the Board of Regents voted unanimously to raise tuition and fees for students to help pay for 11% increases for staff. How would you have voted if you had a chance to vote on that?
I would have voted yes. We need to ensure that our higher education institutions are able to not only retain the staff that we have, but also be able to compensate them for the roles that they have in ensuring that our education system continues to be the largest arm of workforce development for the state. And we do lose a lot of great professors and chancellors and university presidents to other institutions out of state who have a lot more competitive roles. So I am very much for ensuring that we keep the talent here and that we continue to be able to raise our institutions to the point that they've gone so far. We can't stop it now. The cost of living has increased as everything else has. So, it's not about taking away from someone else just to give to something else, right? It is about being able to, within the Nevada system of higher education, retain the talent that continues to exist.
That's a very thought-provoking question because everybody likes a little more in their pocket. But we're not comparing apples to apples. When you're looking at an entry-level K through 12 teacher, what their educational requirement and their investment in their career is very different from a professor. And so the amount of years that it takes to get to those different points and the amount of personal investment is different. And I think that has to be kept in mind. But I also am not a fan of the top being really fat. And there are numerous school districts and university systems that have way too many in the top administration and not enough in the classrooms. So I would have to answer that by saying, I don't know. I would need to look at more data. And I always used to tell my students the mark of a smart person isn't that they know everything, but that they know where to find things. So I would like to visit with the regents that currently sit and ask them why they made the decisions they did and look at more data before I were to say how I would have voted.
I would like to believe that resources should be tied to results. If the results are there, that we're showing that we're paying these teachers this amount and we are hitting the education markers we're needing to hit and everything like that, then fine, give the resources. But I don't think that it should be looked at as a either or with your lower grades in college. It should be a smooth handoff. It should be, we're preparing these kids in elementary school and high school to hand off to these college teachers. If we're having to pay them more to keep them in Las Vegas teaching, is it because the students they're getting aren't as good because we're not taking care of the guys in high school? What is it? Why they need more money to stay teaching in UNLV? That's the questions that I would want to know. Are we having a problem getting people to come to UNLV? Is it facilities? Is it resources? Let's look at it other than just throwing money at it and raising, because I would love to do something. My grandfather taught high school. He had to pay for resources out of his own pocket. So.
Joaquin from the Armed Forces Chamber Pact. My question is for all of you. How do you envision fostering collaboration and communication among various stakeholders, including students, parents, educators, and community members to ensure the success of our schools?
This is somewhere I feel like I would excel at. right now, this is what I do in my business: is doing business development, identifying parallels between other businesses, developing partnerships where we can come together and be an asset as one. So I think networking between other businesses, parents, everything is going to be essential, because if we want to establish a community here in Las Vegas, we need everyone to pull their weight. And to make them pull their weight is to make them feel involved. So by doing that, going to them and showing them how their contribution can be effective, instead of just saying, hey, show up, we need you. It's drawing a better picture, being better at how we brand our education and market our education as a community.
As a mom, teacher, and commissioner, I think all I do all day is negotiate and barter deals. And so I think that what I could bring to that is the ability to listen and learn. I'm not only a teacher, but I'm also teachable. And so I would like for people to feel that their investment is being heard. Nobody wants to come back if they felt like what they said to NSHE fell on deaf ears. And so I'd like to see a building of communication between not only the parents and the students, but also the community, because it really is an investment that we are making in Nevadans, and I'd like to see that investment turn around and invest back in Nevada.
Thank you for the question. Part of the reason that I'm running is in running the American Institute of Architects. One of the issues that we're faced today, and as rebel as I am, is the fact that for our industry within architecture, there are students who are diverse students going through the bachelor program, master's degree program, graduate, and employers are not hiring them. Why? Because this program specifically, and it can't be the only one, is not talking to industry on what the demands are. So you have these students who are graduating with these different degree programs, even a master's degree, and cannot get a job. So it is up to us to be able to bring the community together, to let them know, and community including employers, the community itself, and higher education, to be able to get aligned. And I don't think that that alignment exists today necessarily, and it has to, because if this is existing right now with a profession such as architecture, this isn't just existing in that space. So we need to make sure that there is accountability measures, and that the community, employers, and employees continue to be able to have this life cycle in order to have the livelihood that we want for each Nevadan.
Hey, Kyle, we are actually out of time. We're actually over time. So I apologize. We're going to have to cut to 30-second. We're significantly over. So we're going to cut to the closing statements from you. 30 seconds to give out your information about how to contact you, website, etc.
Well, hello again. Carlos Fernandez. I'm running for University Regent District 1. Contact information is Carlos at Fernandez, the number 4, NV.com. Website, the same, Fernandez4NV.com. And I want to just thank you all for allowing me the opportunity of being here, and also surrounded by all of you with your incredible points, and look forward to hearing back. Thank you.
My name is Ida Zeiler. You can find me at www.idazeiler.com. Surprisingly, that was still available. And I am a teacher, I'm a family focused, and I am community invested, and I am excited for the opportunity to put my name in the hat for Regent of District 1.
Matthew Bowen, running for Regent District 1, Air Force veteran, and I don't have a website. My email is mattbo933 @gmail.com. Just a guy here to make a change.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, and I really enjoyed your answers, because some of them I would have felt the same way. I've got to thank our sponsors, and don't forget our silent auction we have there. And our sponsors are the Foreign Exchange, where we are right now. And number 2 is Stephanie Phillips, U.S. Senate candidate. Carl Carterata, Clark County School Trustee, District A. Ron Quince, U.S. Congressional District 1. And Barbie's Goodies. We had the donuts this morning, so they were great. Anybody have any other question? Nothing? We are all done. We appreciate your time, and I hope to see one of you up there with me. And keep on punching.